to everyone she sees. She telling me that you just a flea. Good morning, people. It's a Monday. It's a dark Monday as well, but it seems like it's going to rain, yes. You don't think why? The clouds are black.
Clouds.
There. Are they grey? Grey is almost black, right? Good morning, my people. How are you today? It is a Monday. That's how they were built. That's how they were built. Yeah. Good morning, my people. How are you? It's a Monday. Whatever man our board. Banaku naite begendereza na muyadde. Katonda wange. Tisimanyi na kumanya. Omuntu yenna alina bw'abanga asobola okwewala boda aje wali. Ng'embeera tenakutuusa kuvuga boda. I think it's just something that happens to their heads where they don't really think that much anymore. As long as man, it's sad. But good morning, my people. It's a Monday. It looks to be a dark Monday. Seems like it's going to rain everywhere, but I doubt it will rain. Abana said it won't rain. But all in all, I hope it's a good day for you wherever you are. I hope that wherever you are, your work is fruitful today. Yeah, that whatever you're planning works out to the best results. Yeah, to the best results, because what you want might not necessarily be the best, but then there might be something better than what you planned. So may whatever you have planned sprout into something pleasant for you and those of yours. Yeah, but it's a Monday, and well, it's the start of a new week. Whatever went wrong last week should not go wrong this week. And yeah, so what modifications do you guys realize people do on cars that they should not be doing, and probably those modifications are just more expense to the car, and they should ignore them? What modifications? I find that when people buy cars, especially when they are new to them, I find that there are modifications they do that they should try ideally to avoid, especially if this is not your last car. If you think this is not your last car, I find that there are modifications that you should not do. These modifications you should avoid, not because you don't have the money, no, but simply because these modifications have implications. And that's what we are going to be talking about today. asking yourself, Rachi after togenze maso. I've not gone forward because eri maso waliyo fusozizi libiri. It would be unwise for me to go forward. Nanchimanyi maso eri kuboteri. So I would rather stay here behind the Land Rover so that you guys feast your eyes upon it. So what modifications do people make on their cars that you think are unnecessary and that you think that you should not do those modifications until you know that probably this is your last car? What modifications? Let's have a discussion. Girl, you will rock with me. Rock with me. You guys, do you see that Sienta? Siente yo bagigura ne bagifuwa. But you see the thing I tell you about the boots of these new cars, boot oyo mugiraba bwefaanana. Bagezaako bambi gigura bagitereze naye boot teterera. Ugiraba? Irabika and I find that bano bagaya abagolole Morocco e Kampa, it's like they were made to kukona kona buli kimu bakikona kona. Emoroka ne webeere limulaini afa anoonya kyakona kona and they end up spoiling the smoothness of the body. Bo baagala kuteekako fiira. I'm actually considering the sticker technology. You guys have seen the sticker technology, where instead of spraying the car, you just put a sticker. Because that majority of the time you're spraying your car because of dents. Why not just put a sticker? I'm considering it because guy urumubanyiza. No mugamba ototeka ofira nze ndio kinga totadde ofira. Nateeka ofira nera. What? That's a Land Rover. Land Rover. Yes. Good morning, Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Uyombia Mark, Tusime Eddie Martha Academy, Namamu Kono, Sebugwawo Medi King Daniels, Paul Sema. Ivan Murunzi. Good morning, people. Ntale Samuel at Lubura Chris Fitness. Chamba de Hannington. Yes, good morning. Mutumba Pade, Antonio Random Things, Lucky Mose, Deep in Coffee. How are you, my people? Mwasuze mutia kanswile, mwasuze bulungi nnyo. Yeah. Bano bonna no badduka jambe mulaba. Wekastora omuntu ng'ayita jempita ng'omanya. Like no one wants to be stuck in jam. So what modifications you guys think people should not be doing to their cars? The kind of modifications that I saw katolabi ipsam gai yakwato mutaimba na guteka mu bumper wano maso guli just mutaimba guli out, it's for damaging Oshegera. I find that modification was not done in good faith. It wasn't even done to protect his car. It was done to do damage to the people he knocks, to do damage to border guys. That wasn't done in good faith. There are so many modifications that people don't do in good faith. For example, every kajola bangati jirako guard ne bagitekako guard. That you see that Kluger yagitekako bulba. That's not in good faith. It's not in good faith at all. There are so many people that I know that would say can't take guard aba boda ba ampulire. Not in good faith. And most of the times when people do modifications like the guard aba boda ba ampulira, they are bad drivers. It's only a bad driver that will decide to put a gun. Putting a guard on my car is one of the things that has never actually occurred to me. And I know people that have driven cars for 30 years and ngatekuli guard kumoroka ye ngatomerangako tatakulubulangako ayite bamukulubulangako nga he's just a careful driver. So what modifications do you guys think are unnecessary for cars, and what are the implications? For example, every modification in and on your car brings about a cost implication. Every modification has a cost implication, and the sooner you understand that, the better. Now, I've seen people that buy, for example, the Chikeke we bought doesn't have a guard. I don't remember seeing a guard on it, but is a guard necessary? Guard tiyetagisa. Every time someone has a guard on their car, they get the, and apart from the cost implication, this is what happened when you put a guard on your car. You get the temptation of wanting to show people that you have a guard. Vayo, obanja kutomera, vayo. And this is something that you probably think is impossible, but I've seen it happen a lot of times, where someone just brings it on simply because they have a guard on their vehicle. And of course that's dangerous, not only for them, but also for the people that they are coming against. So every time you do that, Manyanti, there's going to be an implication, apart from the cost of putting the guard on your car. There's going to be an implication of every time you knock someone down, every time you scratch someone. But also you need to understand that that guard damages your car over time. The reason why these bumpers were created, and the reason why the bumpers are on your actual car. So when you bump into something, the bumper squishes, the bumper is squeezed. Because it's plastic, the bumper is squeezed. That means it protects the frame. But if instead of the bumper you get a guard that is attached to the body of your car, it means if you get into a minor crash, the guard will instead push the chassis in, the frame inside. And you know what that means? That means the frame is getting destroyed. You don't want that to happen. That's why I discourage you from putting guards as a modification on your car. The bull bars. Now, and the cars that come with bull bars, those are meant to be off-road cars. Because the reason they are called bull bars, it's because they are just that, bull bars. They are meant to hit bulls. Bull bars. Now, kakati gokwa tanga sienta ngeyo, ngojisako bull bar, oboba butategera. When are you going to hit a bull? When are you going to hit a cow? And the reason why those bull bars are on those Land Cruisers is because those Land Cruisers are used to go to game parks. They used to go up country. It's like anytime I can meet a bull and I hit it by accident. That's why they have bull bars, because in case I hit, and one thing you need to understand is that these bull bars, they are put on cars that don't have a unibody. Whatever model okay, Land Cruiser, that one. Akayumba kali kunguru, the chassis comes chechine ku Land Cruiser area across. The chassis is done. Ngabola ba chassis ya double cabin. Chassis ebera yo wanse eri. Nga chuma. Okay? Since we are in jam, why don't you guys look at me? The chassis ebera yo nga chuma. Okay, this is what happens. Chassis yemorokeyo, the Land Cruisers, the double cabins, the chassis is independent. Ebirako emipira ne baleta akayumba ne bakatuuzaako bati. So when they put a bull bar, they put it on that very strong chassis. The frame is too strong. Era bwogiraba like two bars, steel bars that go across like this, and it's where they put the bull bar. So it's not on the kayumba. Naye ate ffe, our chassis and the kayumba are all in one. How can I show you? The chassis, akayumba byonna biri wano. When you bring your, and then we have the bumper, which is plastic. So ideally, if you get involved in an accident, and yeah, I have a bottle of water here. If you get involved in an accident, and you hit, you see, and you hit something, that's what the bumper does. So that the chassis and the body are not damaged. The bumper gets squished. That's what the bumper does. Imagine this is the bumper and this is your body. And instead of the bumper, no later guard no jisa mu bumper no jikwasa kuchi kukayumba kali. You're spoiling. You might not know that you're spoiling, but in actual sense, you're spoiling because the bumper will not get squished, the bumper will not get damaged, which is majority of the time what people are looking for, so that their bumper doesn't get damaged. But yes, the bumper will not get damaged, but the chassis, the frame will get damaged because we're not connected into with the bump with the guard. Guard yelegenda kusindika chassis munda. Of course, I would think that people understand that, but apparently there are so many people that don't want to understand it. That's how it works. You get the bumper doesn't get damaged, but your chassis gets damaged. Bumpers are plastic to minimize the damage to your chassis. So the sooner you understand, the better. So Bademba buzi zako Moses Heath, Nick Wabuyi, Norman Karuhanga, Mukisa Emma Kafero, Joseph Bali Kudembe, Serunjoji Williams, Chris Fitness abasajja ba trailer bateka extra lights on top of the lorry. They are unnecessary in my opinion. Yes, Chris Fitness, that's something, but I find that unless the lights are big, I find that those small lights those ones are very important. Why? They are very important for us to understand that this car is this big. Ideally it would be reflectors, but reflectors grow old. Reflectors zika diwane zitukanga tizicha reflectinga. So obutalo obutono bwe basobola oteekako ku on their trailers, on their containers, those small lights, I find that they are totally necessary. Zenga Arthur, why? Have you ever, because those lorries and buses, they have very small lights, about Pro Box, sometimes smaller than even Pro Box. So I find that if they have those small lights around their frames, their bodies, we can see that, okay, now this is a big car as it comes towards us. Nze mfunya nnyo obuzibu mmoroka ennene ebiseera ebimu oyinza obutategeera nti mmoroka nnene simply because tebulina agamawingu. So nze agamawingu ngaagala nze nga Arthur naddala ku nguudo ze Uganda ezitaliiko mataala, because enguudo ze Uganda tezirina mataala gatulaga traffic. So we need those mawingos. So Chris Finn okujjako nga bitalanga binene, ebitale binene tebiri necessary, but bwe gaba mawingo, I find that amawingo gali very necessary. Gaba geetagisa okutulaga size y'emmotoka kwetwawulira, because reflector butono atajja kwagala saving, so nga ate gama winga ajja kwagala gateekeko because n'emmotoka ye gagirabisa bulungi. Good morning Arthur and everyone else. Thank you Chris Fitness. Good morning Papa, Arthur and all car lovers. It's a new day. Let's move out there. Yes, let's find new opportunities. Thank you very much Tony. Travel life vlog, yeah, how are you? And Bridget Kakai approved lingo. Good morning. Alex Kakoza, how are you my brother? I'm Korean. Nange ndi muna Uganda, I'm Ugandan. Yes, so guys, what are some of those modifications that you think are unnecessary on cars but people still do them, that you think they should not be doing? Mbagambye ku guard, there is another modification that I've seen going around, and I think it has an implication that in the beginning tojiraba, but there is an implication. Recently I have a follower of mine who bought a car, nagikorako modification ez'amaanyi, nagirabisa bulungi he tuned it to his test. Okitegeera, nagituninga to his test, agitaddeko exhaust pipe eryekola bulobozi boom boom boom, nagikola agitaddeko front lip, rear lip, agitaddeko side lips. Okitegeera, kwegamba emmotoka ng'erabika bulungi, extremely nice. And then he has done it for in less than 3 months. He wants to get another car, and you know the weakness, the challenge with that is, yes, it's not a bad thing for you to modify, it's your car, but then you have to understand that if you over modify your car, it might come back to bite you. He was chatting with me and he said, you know what, how much can I get for this car? And I was telling him, you know what, the way you have modified your car, it literally doesn't have a standard price because you have done modifications on it. And I went forward to tell him, you know what? Your car will either be bought by a car enthusiast or by none. And one thing you need to understand is that the modifications cost him money. On top of the money that he bought the car, he included the modifications, and he has been modifying it over time. So in a way, I find that those particular modifications are going to cost him money, okay? Are going to cost him money, and they may actually cost him to lose money. How? Normally, I found that people that buy cars, they want to buy cars the way they are. Now, if a car is not brand new or literally new, someone is not willing to pay the extra money for the extra things that you have put in that car. For example, when you put the sports car, urban open roof. You want a car without a roof? Young man? You want a car without a roof? Okay. Once you modify a car to that extent, you have to understand that first of all, it's going to be hard for you to find someone that is passionate about the car you have that way. If I get, for example, a car that I make it open roof, how many people actually want to buy open roofs in Uganda? Very few, right? Now, how many of those people that want to buy open roofs in Uganda are willing to cover the cost, are willing to get the cost of making the car open roof down to there? So you also think about that. Now, there are other modifications that come with buying a car that is open roof. For example, in a Morocco Jiraba, seat belt ya anyone. You know what that means? If you cut a car open roof, modifying things like seat belt, or bucket seats, seat belt and things like that. So you need to understand. Then you have to understand, am I still selling this car or not? Am I going to drive it until I die or not? So if you're not going to talk in a jiffy, you need to understand that there are chances that you might want to sell that car, not necessarily because you're broke, no, but because it's time for you to change a car. It's time. Because in Dachika Abid is a tumaze one jam. In Dachika in Bantus Abba. Yeah, so what modifications you guys think are unnecessary for cars? No. Zabantu bolu China kati bantami batufukire ekirala. Lwaki togende bakola channel ezaabwe? Ate kati nze Lucky Moze, I don't have another option. Normally there is no jam here, by the way. Normally there is no jam. Normally because we pass here literally every day, right? And it moves. I don't know why it's Uncle Arthur. Omunamu namujeko statement. There was a cause ndaba atandise okumenka. What do you mean? People, they put lights on top of super custom ukatanda. That's a very reckless modification because they are not needed. I find that sometimes people put those lights up there because tebada babulungi, and sometimes people think it's the lights. Like before I got glasses, I used to think that my Kateraba, my Corolla, of course my eyes were sick, but when I got my glasses, I started seeing a little bit more clearer, and then I realized that okay, the Corolla lights were actually very okay. Amatagonga got a guy now. Yenafuna alternative route no senganza nganga jamu ngali bwati. Na ye we watali jamu. Papa president yaita omanye ye katusiba bwati. Baso basi besawa bili namba. President yaite wage.
What's that car? What's that van for?
The van, I think it moves to juice and all. Lubura ani Antonia agambye. Alex Kakoza, good morning. Yes. Antonia agambye, those lights top of trucks and buses are necessary in a way for small cars to notice a big car from a distance, so as to maintain a safe distance when passing. Yes, some trailers put big headlamps that can blind other road users. Yeah, in case they put the big headlights are definitely not necessary. Atenga nchimanyi baziti abamba gateekako very 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 unnecessary, but mawingo gokage geetagisa titwetaaga ebire ebitaala ebinene. And I find that there are so many people that think it's like a trendy thing for you to put the big lights. Nenga tekyetaagisa, just main your car gwe nawe yingira line oba oyingira bantu abamu osaze okugoberera oli atamanyi motoka ate oyagala ffe tubisasulire, osaze okuyingira line ng'ogiyingira. So kati olabe ne moroka teina mawingo, iyo lole iyo elef teina mawingo, but it needs mawingo on the sides nebwe butono for us to understand that, you know what, this is a lorry okitegeera. Then I also find that ezo reflectors zimwe ziba zikaddi, I think ekiro ziba teziraba, ate n'abantu abamu reflector ku motoka baziteekako just for the sake of putting reflectors because it's required by law. Now why don't our small cars have reflectors? It's because they are small and gana amatala gaffe parking lights galimu reflectors, so you can literally see that car from up. But ezo loro ziraba amatala gazo tegalina reflectors, so you may not be able to see that lorry. That's why they tell them to put reflectors here. But I used to drive a dudu as well. Nenga ne dudu banka kotekako dudu.
What's a dudu?
A dudu is a type of car that I used to drive a long time ago.
I read one when I was a baby.
But no.
I don't remember.
So olaba that paso ojiraba. Paso bojukubamu amatala bwoti ojiraba, it reflects. Ochiraba it reflects. However, lore eri amatala gayo ne boga kubamu full lights otya, they don't reflect. So that's why they ask them to put reflectors. The other modification that I find that you guys put on your car is
that thing.
What thing?
It has a cross.
Which one? I don't. That's an X. That's a letter X.
Letter X.
Yes.
An X.
Yes.
Is it a good car?
Yeah, it's a good car. But when Subaru guys start panicking because of fuel consumption in jam, it's how when I don't really think it's just Subaru guys that panic because of jam. I think everyone that doesn't have enough fuel panics during instances like this. This is one of the reasons why I stopped Nengamba Sigenda Kunywanga, because I used to get fuel ngabulina kunywa emitwalo ebiri eja mafuta. Then I simply decided that it wasn't worth it anymore. Nensala wonti nja nja kunywanga amafuta omulundi gumu, so that I never have to worry about fuel, because whether you like it or not, nebo ononywa omutwalo gumu buli lunaku, nebo ononywa emitwalo ebiri buli lunaku, jamu ogenda musanga ate era jamu ajja kunywa amafuta. So would you rather not have fuel in the car and you start panicking, or would you rather have fuel? Like, then the other thing that I've found that people don't understand is that the reason why our engines die very fast is because the stop and go traffic bwe tuzikiza emotoka zikiza koleza ekintu ekyo kitta nnyo engine, because ozikiza oil nakka wansi noddamu n'okoleza oil n'alinnya, aba tannamala kulinnya n'osimbula. That's what happens in jam. Kati ebyuma ne bitandika okwerya. That's why sometimes when you're in jam, wosobola okuleka emotoka yo ng'etokota gireke ng'etokota to make sure that it's healthy. Guys, like the broadcast. Thank you, Abdul Nasser, for reminding them. Thank you for reminding guys, like the broadcast. Like the broadcast. Akatale mukalabye, people are already making money. Good morning, Gideon Opai. Yes, good morning. Kamisi Zainabu. Ono Bwaise. You guys, this is Bwaise. This is the roadside sellers in Bwaise. Do you see that people abantu bana Uganda bagado kola? Bakededda bakola, and you know people are moving kati webigira ali faster than a motoka. Some cars have an automatic stop starts. Once the car comes to a halt, the engine puts in a state that doesn't have long-term effect. Those are very few cars. Those are newer cars, like 20, I think, starting 2015. Now the likes of us that drives 2010 models and below, that thing is not there. But me, I find that leaving your car running when you're in jam might be safer for the engine than you start turning off. When it's a long-term thing. But like when you're in jam like this one, where you're not sure when they are going to stop when they are going to let you go. Because ogera kuba wakazikize mmotoka but babate you start the engine then bataniko kuhutingire mabega. When they start hooting for you behind, then you have to start driving before the engine actually goes up. Before you know it, the valve seals will be done. Before you know it, the rings will be gone. And before you know it, then you have to repair things you would otherwise not be repairing. I think an engine idle, engine idle doesn't really take that much fuel. It doesn't. Yes, it takes some fuel, but it doesn't really take that much fuel.
Love.
Africa Karota, good morning. Hajara, good morning. Guy, do you realize that people are making money in Pora? Activities keep moving. One mchara uya atunda bijanjalo, uli atunda lumonde ne muogo, and people are seriously buying. By like 11 ajja kuba nyusi. Ochitegera. And yes, there are businesses that probably work hourly. Ngakera kumacha from 6 Mariga gattawali wanga okwesiba mu line olwokubanga oli principled. You stay in the line because you have principles. You have principles. Kangene mu line yabala ejja tambula okusinga eri gye mbaddemu. But I hope you guys are doing well. Adams, kati mwabakola mu dollar ndoza mugenda kuba mujira. Because the people that make dollars, okujja the problem is now there are people that sell things to us in dollars. We are going to be making losses, but that's expected. That's how the world works. Sometimes things win, sometimes lose. Yeah, sometimes you get more value, other times you don't. Yeah, sometimes even 11 a.m. is so far. Like some of these guys kati banatira okunyuka ruwane yalese, like for example this guy atunda wane ebijanjalo ainawe entumu ze 10. Ize entumu 10 agenda zitunda by 10 a.m. abenga agenze waka okitegeera. So yes, there are businesses that actually where people work hourly. Nga takola lunaku lulamba akola ke sawa zakoze na agenda akola ebirala. Okumanya jamu mmoji, people have started getting out of their cars to buy snack. chibatukwata all this time bannange. So we are talking about modifications that are unnecessary and their implications to us as car owners. We have already talked about guards. We have talked about the extra lights that we put on our cars that are not needed because they have a cost implication to you, and in the end they will probably make you lose money because you may want to sell your car and you end up losing money because no one is willing to buy your car at extra money regardless of the modifications that you've put on the car. So I find that anytime that you feel like modifying, for example, one of the modifications that is very common is you putting a subwoofer in your car. You putting a subwoofer in your car. That's one of the modifications that is very common. Literally everyone does. Literally everyone has that kind of modification in their car. Putting a new Android radio sort of in your car, that's another modification that is very common with people. A subwoofer, a new Android radio, putting extra screens in your car. I find that those modifications, they may be necessary depending on what you're looking forward to. Like if you put screens in your car, and you have children the way I have Urban and Ragnar, and you want them to watch stuff, that's fair enough. You have put those things there for a reason. But there are people that simply put modifications just for the sake of putting those modifications. You're going to lose money. If the only reason you're buying a car is for transport, for you to get to work and back home, then I can tell you that you don't need to do any modification. There is another modification that is very common that probably you guys should be thinking about. Every time you buy a car from the bond, jiwanike, especially in Uganda. Hamsize Uganda tezili professional. Tebaziteka how professional kali. Nadareze yombialu. So they will damage your car if your car is too low. And literally all small cars that you buy, Bopaso, Bovitz, Bopaso Sete, Sienta, imoroka zonazo nezo, Primo, Zeta go kuwanikamu. And yes, I realize that because you want to reduce the cost implication, sometimes you'll be forced to use spacers. But the spacers literally don't do anything. Empanika yemoroka is using after empanika yemoroka intufu is when you use the aftermarket springs that you buy aftermarket. Those are the ones that will help you raise your car properly. Emoroka zona literally gwe buli moroka joda bangate yekuta ku hampuze Uganda. Gwe manyante moroka eyo bajiwanika using the spring the right way. Then there are people that have seen that say wanike moroka nga akoze semipira. Yes, gwe chawo manyanti, if a car was prescribed to have a tire that is, for example, has a 65 inches, if you put 70 inches, there is an implication, first of all, on the fuel consumption, but there's also an implication in terms of the clearance between the tire and the chassis. You'll find that when you're turning, the tire is going to scrub against the body, which is something you don't want. First of all, it wears the tire out so fast, but in a way it affects the chassis. Not so much, but it does. Talk about people who write stupid quotes on car bodies. Tegaba maru. Yes, that's another thing that people literally do it all the time, and I feel it's their way of exerting their beliefs. But I think they just don't know that people don't care. Nobody cares what you believe. Nobody cares until what you believe affects them. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares until what you do affects other people. Nobody really cares. I think ekyo ekintu kikyatulima okutegeera nga abantu. Gwoba okkiriza nti mama we yakuzaala gwamanyi nze tebinkwatako. Gwoba okkiriza oba ogamba mbu nno kyonjagaliza nange kyenkwagaliza, so what? Okitegeera. So God cares, ebyo bibyo. Erudda gaba maalo, but I find that it's completely normal Chris fitness. It's a way of people designing their cars. It's their car after all. Okitegeera. Morning brother, can I be able to buy an Impreza at 15 to 18? And how is the consumption? David, Subarus are very reliable cars. But 15 to 18, it will be the old model Impreza. Tobe anemiliyoni 18 ononya Impreza 212. Ogenda gula ka 27 ka 28 ogwe watyo. 27 28 ojja kafuna. But you don't have that amount and expect to buy a 2012 model of the Impreza. But Imprezas are very reliable cars. Impreza, you driving an Impreza is the same thing as, is literally the same as driving a Sienta. They are both 1.5 liter cars. So a liter should ideally be taking you for like 12 to 15 kilometers if the car is in good condition and if it's driven properly. Because what but if you drive properly, yeah, a choya ku dashboard. A choya ku dashboard is not really I don't find it to be like a modification. And sometimes I found that people actually put those wheels on the dashboard because they are necessary. There are cars that have shiny dashboards, and because it's a shiny dashboard, if this person drives through the sun, it will reflect back into the windscreen, and then it will kind of affect the way he sees. That's why sometimes people put those things on the dashboard. But bobange moroka yongeringa katugezenga Sienta, those cars don't have, like cars like the Primo, they have a very, very shiny dashboard. So I find that sometimes that's why people put the Vioyas there. Good morning, Kenneth Best. How are you? Yes. So people, what are some of the modifications on cars that you think are unnecessary that people should ignore, should stop doing? I find that one modification that might affect you in the end is you. Okay, now I understand that there are cars, for example, that come with smaller tires. For example, the tires that come with the Vitz, the tires that come with the Sienta, the tires that come with the Ractis. Most tires that come with cars are not available on the market, or they're extremely expensive. So sometimes you will find that a person has to modify, buy either smaller or bigger rims to be able to buy a tire that is affordable, both in the short and long term. So that's a modification that might be necessary. However, if you're doing that modification, you need to be extra careful to not put a tire that will increase your fuel consumption as well as the wear and tear of the car, because bigger tires call for bigger force. So if you have a small engine and then you buy bigger tires, in the end you'll be on the losing side. Chris Fitness echo yamunaite chi reflecting achisinzira ndoza ku color joyina. You need to buy dark color if the reason you're putting the choya is to stop the reflections. But I found that what we moroka navuka ko premier old model nge reflecting anyo ku dashboard neraga nnyo. So echo of course nachigulira munange nenchire kamera nange nenchitu echo ya tekiri mu Corolla hiyo kiri mu Corolla iri emabega ku dashboard ye mabega ya Corolla. That's where the choya is. Echoya chikunyiza Chris Fitness. Why? Me have not found. There are things, by the way, that I've not thought of investing in. There are things I've not thought of investing in because ndabanga kuba kuono na sent. Maybe won't be when I'm doing these broadcasts. But like seeing a vid with a bull bar, which take it. Like whatever nuweri, you know ingire kubo. Jira bantiga ya jisako God. That's dangerous. Uganda ojiraba yo yenyini tamanyi kujibara chuvula bagitomeza yona yigomye. And that happens with so many people that put guards on cars that you know where ye tuli maso ina guard Uganda ojiraba chemanye asasud aina abantu basasud abawera because of that guard. It's soka guard yise ku body both in front and on the side. Ebyo byonna tabibala but I think ndoza n'abantu abateeka gaadi ku mmoroka nabo balinamu ku maalo balinamuko ku maalo because like literally boba emoroka nuwo giraba eri waggulu as you drive even see the bonnet. So why would you need a guard on that car? Muba mukone ku maalo mukadde yitawo muba mukondoza ne ku maalo, because there is no other way for me to think about it. Chigege otekako yaki okitegeera. Then the other modifications that will cost you money, I've seen people that spray a morokayenga ya white on top of the roof na spraying ako black. That's a very reckless modification. Kala bakalika spasio kaina gadi yema bega yaki. Like if any car was to hit that spatio from the rear, it would not be hitting the bumpers. It would be hitting the boot. I think with the bintu ebimu abantu abamwe tebabala tebalina mathematics mu bwongo for them to understand. So mbadde njogera ku modification yokusiga yokupaintinga your roof black. People spray their roof, the roof of their cars black when the car is white, for example, or sometimes the car is silver and they decide to make their roof black. That is breaking the law. It's not allowed. That's a modification that should also be done in the logbook. If your car has two colors, it doesn't matter where the two colors are. It's supposed to show in the logbook that black stroke white, black stroke silver. But if your logbook says your car is white, ngate ku roof kuliko black, nebo kiba kirayini kimu bwe kitinga kiyitamu, traffic police can literally arrest you for that. That's something that you need to understand. You don't go modifying your cars anyhow. Togena ngomala gatekako colors bichi. If your car has two colors, make sure you go to Ministry of Works, because it's what does it now. Make sure you go to Ministry of Works and apply to have that extra color added. Chovura emoroka ezinga zijja ne kale mtojiraba yiyo black eri white. Okitegeera era emoroka ezajja nga zirimu extra colors nga ne mu logbook kiraga grey and white. Okitegeera. So if I've seen people modify. Now the thing of modifying your car to open roof, I've not seen a law that says I can't do that. I've not seen a law that says I can't do that. I'm still going to inquire and see. But as long as the chassis is the same, as long as the car is safe for the road. However, being safe for the road would be something that is that can only be confirmed by the IOV. Because the chassis of modifying a motor car, this car is not safe for the road, because chassis what modifying never googling if they have that time, never come in motor car chassis yayo inakubanga ambike yonna and stuff like that, which is that because they can see never come in motor car tebalina motor car jibakolanga convertible, and yet it's a convertible. Now the convertible means you can convert it to open roof, convert it back to. So if your car tebalina model jibakolanga it's convertible, yet you have a convertible car. That's why it's important as you modify cars for you to look at cars that have convertible versions, so that you don't get arrested by Ministry of Works nebagambo why you modified the car. For example, there are guys that modified their cars to pickups during lockdown. Olinga ina primo najifula pickup because it's pickups that were allowed to move during the lockdown. Those are permanent modifications that you guys should avoid. It's something that they used to say, solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution. You need to try and see and make sure that as you solve a temporary problem, you're also using a temporary solution, so that if the problem goes away, you can also take away your solution. But omuntu yafula emoroka ye pick up mu lockdown olwokuba ayagala okutambula agenda alabe ka girlfriend kati saawa eno kimulya because he cannot put it back together. Okitegeera. I think it's one of the reasons why most of the cars that were modified were bad cars. Oyino omusanga modifying Regius kyamukwata dda, modifying Mazda. The people that modified cars modified those cars that are bad cars. You would not find someone modifying a Corolla. You would not find someone modifying a Rumion. You would not find someone modifying a Sienta, because those cars are still good. It was cars like maybe Emer Bobida baby biba modifying anga. Never modifying a motoka gata cars that I literally don't advise anyone to buy. Which take it. So tell me guys, what are some of the modifications that people do that ideally they should not be doing, but they continue doing, and Modifications that you know will cost them something. Modifications that will have a cost implication both in the short and long run that people should avoid. Modifications goes money. And by the way, the lockdown modifications are very serious. Abantu bafuulira ddala emmoloka zaabwe pick up okitegeera naye ng'ate mu mateeka kyesiisa eya pick up bwe bagisaamu wali ebalaga nti this is a pick up. That's one thing that you probably guys forget. Kyesiisa ya pick up ebeera ya njawulo ku ya maika. Kyesiisa ya loole ebeera ya njawulo ku ya maika. Kyesiisa ya Land Cruiser ya njawulo. So there are modifications you should be very careful as you make. Because the motor car you modified the chassis illegally. The modification is illegal. They just take the car. You don't even save it. The government takes it. So as you make all those modifications, you should be. Atendo mulinde ko lebana atandi kukwata kubateka gadi ku motoka. Mujatani ko kwebuza. Why did they allow people to import the guards if the guards are not allowed? You start asking yourselves those questions. Because the motoka bagikolange ina protection ya yejimara mu kibuga ya plastic bumpers. So why are you putting a bull bar? Abantu avuga motoka ezebbe bannange baagala nnyo. Ojja okuyingira kubo tapapa kujja ku coveringawo ukitegeera. Naye Katonda yakola abaana ba boda. Obongo butono bannange zesala abakyala agenda kuva eno omukazi ng'ategeera asomye ebitabo bye agwe mukwano n'omusajja wa boda. Musajja wa boda ng'obwongo butono ate amufumbirwa amuzaalira abaana bakuba oli bamuvuma obusiru nga yeye afuna omusajja wa boda tumuvuma obusiru ku kkubo kati abona you expect me ngende mwali. So anyway, what are some of the modifications that people should limit, should try to avoid as they drive their own cars? And we're looking at the cost implications. The first cost implication is you installing that thing. The second implication would be the cost that comes. The cost that comes from Uganda no kati ogatira wuki toyina gyolaga wamaleka abantu avuga emmoloka ezebbeeyi mbaagala nnyo. People, one thing I've realized, abantu abavuga emmoloka ezarayisi tebalina patience. Oba lwaki kati omusajja avuga wisha nemeseza okuyingira, omusajja avuga kawundo nandeka nenyingira because he loses nothing. I don't know, this is something that we should try and put in ourselves. We should try. It's not about you. Nagenda nga kiga mpola mpola obudde bwagendanga bugenda netandika okuyiga nti everything that happens in life has never been about you. It has never been about you. It's also about other people. Okitegeera, it's also about other people. Nti omuntu bajja n'akuyisa takumanyi. I remember oba lwali lunaku ki sometime I think it was around last year mba nvuga nti nenkona kuwa boda govudde wongoze kuntomera biki ne muganda. Yeah, but I don't know who you are. After today I probably don't even care who you are. Okitegeera, I don't even care who you are. Kati lwaki ogamba nti zinavudde wange nanze kuntomera. It's an accident. Modifications again, modifications. I'm looking at cars here trying to find the modification. Apparently, so many people, but guards, you people, mlekera take a guard ku motoka. Yeah, na dale moro kazi ni tono. Stop. Good morning, everyone. Arthur, would you encourage one to make a modification of fuel tank? Say the RAV4 has a 50 liter, and I want to put it. No, man. If you want a car that has a bigger tank, buy a car that has a bigger tank. There is no reason why you modify a fuel tank. No. That's a very bad modification, by the way. Why would you even want a bigger tank?
That's a Mark X.
Yes, that's a Mark X. Who told you that?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey, Abba nabayimbira ekitiibwa kya Buganda. Buganda Abba, let's sing ekitiibwa kya Buganda. Twesimye nnyo. Yafe Chitiwa cha Uganda. Keys are physical kwatagana. His key is too high. But you get it? You get it? Antonio inayo mwana imbe chitiwa cha Uganda. Inayo mwana imbe chitiwa cha Uganda. Moses is ani edenga laki Moses. Oldo mwana omusajja omuganda. Oldo omusajja omuganda. You guys go for me. There is no space here. Oldo omusajja omuganda Antonio. Ayimba ekitibwa kya Buganda all the way. After the dashboard woolen carpet, would you recommend it? Oh, there is this thing that they put on fielders, eh? That black thing, eh? I don't know why people put that thing, but personally, in Zenga, I wouldn't. It's easier for me to clean my dashboard. It's harder to clean. I find that it's money that is being spoiled. After see how you said border guys have small brains. That's why people put guards because of mainly border. No man. Yes, I know the border guys have small brains, but that doesn't make me put guards. I know I learn how to drive with the border guys on the road. I think that's a much more sustainable way to live and survive with border guys.
What?
Ochitegera. Gobono ya guarantee. Because once you put a guard on your car, just imagine what would happen if by accident okono wa border and the impact is too much. For me, Nzenga Atha in a bumpers, the bumpers will protect my car in a way. You, the guard, will not only do that, will not only damage your chassis, but it also probably kill someone. Guys, remove the Kayumba on vehicles like the alien skid. Actually, Gideon Opai, that is a modification that I've not seen anywhere in the law being illegal. That's something we have to see. But it's not illegal according to the law. You can do that according to the law. And I've gone through that trying to find out what modifications. But I'm going to see, I'm going to try to find some other regulations, because I'm sure there is a regulation that controls what the IOV can inspect and what he can't. I'm sure there are regulations on modification and all that. My daughter can sing only 2 verses. No, onaimba verse bidi. I think neno jivaita chorus. Morning Semusu Wilba. So we are talking about modifications. We are talking about what modifications should people be doing and what modifications should people not be doing. Yes. What modifications do you think are not proper? Amafuta gachi namakula Christine obadde ogamba ki? Yes, thank you for being part of the broadcast. It's 1 hour. Mbasibululu. Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Yombia Mark, Tusime Eddie, Martha Director, Martha Academy, Sebugwao Medi, King Daniels, Paul Sema, Ivan Muwuluzi, Tali Samuel, Budo Chris Fitness, Martha Academy, Namamukono, network yabadepua, Chamba de Hannington, Mutumba Pade, Antonio Random Things like Mose, Deep in Coffee, Joseph Vali Kudembe, Mukisa Emma Kafero, Bawa Martha Omwat, Nick Wabuyi, Norman Karuhanga, Moses He, Serunjoji William, Football Tribe, Lugumia Tony, Travel Life Vlog, Bridget Kakai, Approved Lingo, Alex Kakoza, Hannah Joshua, King Daniels, Muloza Sibamazeyo Matembe, Abdur Nasa, Gideon Opaye, Zainab Kamisi, Sebugwao Medi, Hajara, Africa Karota, David Kamanzi, Kenneth Best, Sentongo Hamuza, Clip Films, Edutunes, okay. But Namasaka do stupid modifications on the car that make you even hate the car. According to them, they love the cars too much. That's why they have those modifications. I find that it's not really love. I find that it's ndabanga amaro nayinga munange bo baba barabe moroka zawe bazagala nnyo. And by those modifications are going to cost you a lot of money. Mbuzo otya, there is a gentleman yaina ka bakaita kata fan cargo no sienta. He's a Muslim, and yeche yakola, I think he has a belief that dark colors are bad. Remember, dashboards are black, the door panels are normally black. Nagenda je bafuira langi dashboard yonna ne bagifuira yellow, wano wonna ne bafuira yellow, so the entire car was yellow. Nebweru ngemotoka nga ya yellow. And that's a modification that I'm sure cost him about 5 million in terms of value loss. Ochitegeera. Yeah. Good morning, Derek Lule, we bali kubeerako nnyo. Kabali Moses, Norman M, Namakula Christine. Kenyans modify trucks to buses even in Uganda today. Yeah, that's a modification that is allowed. That is a modification that is allowed. That's why I'm saying that okufule motoka yo open roof nga alien skin, it's as long as it has safety features like seat belts and all. I doubt alien skin's car has seat belts. But of course, alien skin mumanyi kati etulu bali ali mu siri eryafi. So I know ensonga lwaki bamuleka okukola byakola. Arthur, I fear my daughter to get married to a border guy because I have a friend, is a chef but married a lawyer. Okay? I'm after gay chanja babbi nnyo. Banzibe over 10 liters. I don't take fuel from just literally every petrol station. Osanga amafuta nti bubba bubiri bugenda ovako ng'oli mu kilomita 100. Niwanoonya bubba bubiri ne buviirako mu kilomita 4. Most of the small cars come with the tire size of R15, but seeing our roads, that's too small. Do you encourage spacers and bigger rims? No, man. I've told you the best way to raise a car is by using aftermarket springs. The heavy-duty aftermarket springs. Those will raise your car properly. Timothy Mukasa, Amina, Prosi Bravo. Yes, good morning. We bari kubeerawo. So, kale encha tujakeerako. Tomorrow will be Market Tuesday. You can come and market your business. I'll be teaching you a bit of marketing here and there, and yeah. So, but all in all, avoid mwenamba nyanga some bana ite mugamba sinasomye mwenamba some mwemba alikubera ku broadcast namba bana mukamol temweda vida. I do pre-purchase inspection only 450,000. I come with a mechanic and send us covering and after gatamzo okulabe mmoroka atotambulira muka esinga we yagala. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow morning, guys. Don't do modifications that would make you lose money. And also, as you buy cars, guys, try as much as possible to not buy don't buy funny colors. Like now I'm looking at a blue field. Blue color, blue. Like, how would you buy a blue car? Mukama abasasi. See you tomorrow. Blue fielder.